Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I want to talk about why you should not watch the news, and especially if you are an empath or a highly sensitive person. So let's get started. The news space currently, it is extremely disturbing. If you just turn on any channel right now, just literally any news channel, and you just watch it for 10 minutes, okay, just 10 minutes of just going through the news and the headlines and the topics, the incidents that they cover, you will very quickly notice one thing. 99%, 99 out of 100 times, you will notice that the news, the content that they are covering, it's a negative information. It is negative in nature, and it is just mostly something bad or something violent or something criminal that is being covered by those newscasters and reporters, except obviously the weather channels and the weather news, which is always great. Not always, unless there are storms or something coming, but apart from that, most of the news these days are just talking about negative things, are either critiquing some politician and their decision, talking about the inflation, talking about the economy, talking about crimes against women, against children, talking about war. You see the pattern, right? This is not something that is that any healthy mind should always be exposed to. And there's a reason why kids don't watch the news, and kids are not like, we don't let our kids watch the news because we don't want our kids to always be exposed to the negative or what's wrong or what's bad that's going on in this world. We know that they are developing minds, and they are the intelligence is developing, so we want them to always be consuming positive stuff, positive content. But that is not what the news is. Most of the news is just negative content, and it is done by design. It is not by chance that the news channels cover or report incidents that are negative, or it is not even the truth that there is only negative or bad incidents that are happening across the world. It is done by design. The news focuses on the negative incidents, negative topics, because they know that will keep us hooked to them. Because whatever, if they can inspire, actually not inspire, but if they can cause or create fear in us, if they can create anxiety in us, tension in us, worry in us, which is what most of these news pieces do. Like when you're reporting a war in some other part of the country, some other part of the world, or you're reporting on an earthquake or a hurricane or some crisis or the inflation, it is naturally gonna make you and me worried about our future, make us scared. So that is the whole point of the news, is to create fear in you, create worry in you, so that you depend on them, so that you get hooked to them, so that you want more. Because somewhere our brains are like, we want to stay alert, we want to stay more and more cautious, we want to know what's going on so that we can be safe, right? So this is just wired in our very survival. So, and the news people, they're aware of it. They are aware of how our primitive minds work and how our reptilian brains work, which is very survival. It's wired for survival, it's wired for safety. And these news channels, these news executives, they are they're seasoned with human behavior. They know exactly how human behavior is, how human nature is, and they exploit that with their news, with the content that they cover. They exploit that. they know what kind of content, what kind of news pieces will get more attention, and it's always the ones that are negative, because again, coming back to our reptilian brain. So this is where you need to exercise your own self-awareness. You need to exercise your own intelligence to discern that this kind of news, consuming these kind of negative content and negative incidents, is not going to affect your mental health in a positive way. If you wake up in the morning and watch the news and watch 10 bad things that are happening in the world, or let's say not even in the world, in your own country or in your own locality, how do you think the rest of your day will go? No matter what happens throughout your day, you will be carrying that negative imprint in your consciousness, in the background of your mind, and keep doing that for months on end and years on end, and you will be a miserable person, and you will not even know why. You will not even know why you are so miserable. You will not even know why do you feel so negative, why do you feel so cynical, because that was the subconscious programming that you got exposed to, and it is not your fault, because you didn't know how these little bits of information were affecting you, were impacting your brain. So I think, especially for me, I'm an empath and I'm a highly sensitive person. I get affected by the littlest of things that are not even happening to me, things that are not even happening in my vicinity, in my surrounding. If I just hear about something, let's say something really bad happening to someone else in some other country, I get affected by it. It actually affects my mood, it affects my mental state, and it makes me really wired, really wiry and irritated throughout the day. So that's why I've made a conscious decision not to consume the news. And I can say that for I think the last 1 or 2 years, I have never, not once, opened a news channel, even by mistake, to consume any piece of news, because I always know how it's gonna end up, and I always know how I'm gonna end up feeling after I have consumed it. So I would also love to know, what do you think about it? Are you still consuming the news? And especially, how does watching the news make you feel? And if it doesn't make you feel good, do you think you're ready to make the switch and to stop watching the news? Okay, thanks a lot guys for listening. I'll see you in the next video.